New tonight, the Harnett County Sheriff expressing concern about a recent spike in violent crime, and he's even telling people to start arming themselves. Greg Barnes is live in Lillington tonight. He picks up the story from there. Greg?
Yeah, good evening, Tisha. This was definitely not a feel-good community meeting here at the Spring Hill United Methodist Church tonight. More than 100 people packed the sanctuary. They brought with them their concerns, their fears about rising crime in this part of the county. They heard area leaders and elected officials offer some ideas and some suggestions, but no real solid solutions, except for the sheriff, who bluntly told the crowd, you've got to do what you got to do to protect yourself and your family. Get a gun. It was a service of songs and prayers for peace, but many fill this tiny country church sanctuary looking for answers.
I go to church, I pray, and I believe in God, but I'm still afraid.
That fear is over an explosion of violence and crime in the western part of Harnett County, especially over the last few weeks. Sheriff Larry Rollins told the crowd it's fueled by gangs and drugs, and he urged the citizens to arm themselves.
Even though I'm a cop, I don't go anywhere without a gun. I want my deputies to be at your house just as fast as they possibly can when you got a problem. But you better be able to take care of business before we get there if you got to protect your family.
And this part of the county's landscape of rural life is quickly giving way to a population boom. More people, more trouble, residents say. And here, where they're proud to show their colors, many are worried.
I don't see where the sheriff's department can get out any more than what they're doing now. Because if you stand here for 5 minutes, you're probably going to see 2 cars go by.
But I believe it's time for us to begin to stand up, pray in authority.
And several speakers at tonight's meeting call it a carnal as well as spiritual battle.
Everybody has to stand up and pledge to fight this darn war until we can raise our children in peace.
It's a community challenge, and for many here, a tough reality.
I think that they're working hard on trying to get the solutions for us, which comforts us a little bit, but still knowing that it's out there and it happens every day still doesn't make you feel safe.
And several people we talked with tonight left the meeting sharing that sentiment. They didn't come here praying for divine intervention or some kind of miracle. They were just praying for peace. And one of the pieces of advice they did get tonight is something that a lot of city residents already know too well. That is, keep your eye out for any suspicious-looking activity in your area. Keep an eye out for yourself and for your neighbors as well. In Harnett County, Greg Barnes, ABC-11 Eyewitness News.
Yeah, we have to keep.
Well, praise the Lord and pass the ammunition, Harnett County. You know, that speech was in 2014 that Larry Rollins gave, that when he gave that speech in that church. August 2014, about a month before our incident. And what, about a year, almost a year after the murder of Christian Griggs, what, about 10 months after the murder of Christian Griggs? Okay. You know, we had one break-in in our house that same time frame, when we were living there. Remember that? Yeah. And I stopped it. Well, we had a break-in in I didn't stop the break-in, but I mean, there was an attempted break-in afterwards. Yeah. Into some other houses on our street. Yeah. And I remember I stopped it. And guess what? I didn't have to use a gun to do it. I did it without a gun. Long story, I happened to be finishing a run that day. I'm not exactly sure the guy was getting ready to break in, but he was definitely, we had just had break-ins, and the guy had walked into our neighborhood, never seen him before. And he walked up to one house, pulled on the door a few times, pulled on it, looked in a few windows, then walked. And I just finished the run. I was just standing there watching him. And then I noticed he went up to another house and did the same thing. Yeah. And I kept staring at him. And then he noticed me staring at him, and that's when he started to make a scene, when he saw me staring. Yeah. He started cursing, he started yelling real loud. And all I did was follow him.
Did you fight with him?
No, I didn't fight with him. I just covertly followed him to his house, and I got a neighbor to call the police. Because I was just trying to, at that time, if I would have known, I would have never called the sheriff's department, ever. I would have just kept an eye out myself. But I was trying to let him know, hey, because we had just had 2 break-ins in our neighborhood. And I was trying to let him know. That could be one of them, because I saw what he was doing. I don't know, but they were worthless. I remember they told me that I shouldn't have followed him. Well, I mean, I wasn't following him with a gun, like some people like to do around there. You know, maybe I was supposed to go get my gun first. Is that what they wanted me to do? Idiots. But yeah, I mean, yeah, he's telling everybody to arm up and buy a gun and be ready and shoot everybody before his deputies get there. Isn't that why Christian Griggs ended up getting murdered in the first place? That's it.